Hi guys, Big Boy Summer here.
And Ruka.
And today is our part 2, hot or not, of I'm the Villainess, so I'm taming the final boss.
Yep, so firstly, the songs are really good on this anime, especially the ending song. I listened to it all the way through every time. And also, we were already talking about this from before, about whether the villains were really the villains in this whole thing since the end of episode 1. And the reason why I bring this up is that Cedric starts to steal all of Eileen's businesses, and her father said that she was really careless when she was signing the contracts. And that really suggests to me that the prince was actually planning this for a long time, even before the transmigration happened.
Yeah, I mean, Cedric, he had a really bad way of looking at Eileen from the get-go, and the moment some new came around, he was already down, and he was very petty in trying to destroy a woman that actually did nothing wrong. Look, if you're gonna dump a woman, that's fine, and that goes for anyone, male, female, and everything else. If you want to dump them, that's cool, but why go to the extent of ruining their life, their financial freedom and everything? There's no need for that. You're the prince, and at this point you're the crown prince, so you're gonna have all the money that you want anyways, and basically all the bitches. So why ruin Eileen? Eileen did not deserve this treatment in the beginning. She didn't deserve the treatment throughout the whole anime. She didn't deserve half the stuff that she had to fight through, but that girl's a little fighter, bro.
Yes, like this anime has like 3 distinct arcs, and really right now we're really talking about the first arc where there was a lot going on. The prince was going crazy, and like you, I couldn't really understand what his problem was. He was obviously fixated on Eileen for whatever reason, because in his eyes, no matter what, she's this terrible person. Like, first he was obsessed about Eileen wanting to hurt Lilia, this idea that she wanted to hurt her. When he realized it was untrue, he became enraged that she wanted his brother, and he was saying that she had chosen his brother over him, and that he couldn't believe how she had betrayed him, completely forgetting that the betrayer in all of this was himself. He cheated on her with someone else, publicly announced it to everyone, which would have affected her social standing, and it did affect her social standing. Everyone started talking about her. I mean, obviously people didn't like her from before, but it really took a more open hit because now the prince had turned his back on her. Then he sends her an invitation to come to his engagement, which is yet another act of humiliation, and on top of that he wants her to sign the papers to dissolve their engagement in front of everyone at his party with his new girl, and he just couldn't see that he had done all of these things. It was really wild that he wanted to dump her in a way that destroyed her reputation, and yet when she didn't react the way that he wanted her to, he decided to make in his head that she was really the massive villain and betrayer.
It's the hallmarks of someone who's toxic, and like as I said in the previous video, I don't like using the word toxic often to describe real people, but in animes, because everything is so embellished, unfortunately it's the only word to describe a person sometimes. Look, he fully wanted complete control over this woman, which was really ironic because I'm pretty sure that he was being controlled by Lilia at this point as well in order to ruin this woman. So he wanted that semblance of control, because even by the end of it, he knew he was being the boy here.
Yeah.
And it's a case where I really commend the pettiness of Eileen in calling him trash at every single time after this point that she could. Like, after this arc, he was nothing but trash. That was his name, and I found it funny because it reminded me of Rising of a Shield Hero, where, you know what, I'm not going to say it just in case I'm spoiling things because I don't know where the anime is. I've only been reading it. It was cathartic in a way to hear it every single time, because I was like, yeah, she is not going to let you forget how you treated her, and she's doing better than you. You're the to your relationship now, because she was loyal. She did her best to do everything she possibly could in that first arc. Remember when we saw her background story where she was just trying to be the best that she could be at everything in order to fill the shoes of crown princess or queen or whatever. She did her best here, and you just wanted to ruin her. thank you, Claude, for coming in and showing your brother that if a real man can't handle a woman, then, you know, you must step up in it. No, I'm kidding. But, like, do you get what I mean? It's that kind of mentality that shows the toxic traits.
What I really, really loved about this anime is that although it was romance, there was a lot of other things going on, but not that. Eileen was a really great female lead character, and it's really hard to get these in animes. She was strong, she had this go-get-em attitude. No matter how many obstacles were in her way, she got up and she solved the issue. She solved the issue for other people, including the Demon Lord, who really, I mean, honestly, he could do a lot of things on his own, with his own power, but she still took it upon herself to fix a bunch of things. And I also like the way they didn't dumb down any of the male leads in order to make her shine. The male characters were still really solid characters, whether you liked them or you didn't like them. And also, even Claude, he knew he could do some of the things for her, but he never tried to overshadow her or make her into a damsel in distress. He didn't try and diminish her at all. He actually liked her exactly the way that she was. And in all honesty, even though he has all this power, he does have this really shy personality because he's been in this massive isolation. He's only been able to speak to 2 other people, well, 1 other person, and then the rest have been various demonic creatures. He's very shy, he's been isolated, and he's been treated so poorly in life, so he doesn't have the full social skills to do certain things, even though he can, because he's quite charismatic, like, on his own. It's just nice that they've got these characters that have these different parts of them, these positive, negative things that create this well-rounded character.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, this is a masterpiece in how to write a good character. Female, male, I don't care. It was a really good character. You saw him break down. Like, Eileen broke down multiple times, but pushed through. And it's the kind of determination that we love in anime. Look at Naruto, look at Black Clover. Do you get what I mean? Like, I'm not putting this anime on Black Clover's level, not at all. But I am saying that it's that kind of attitude where the going is getting tough, and I'm telling you, it's getting really, really tough. But she's always got a plan, and she's always pushing forward, and I love it. Then you've got characters like, what's her name? The maids. Can't remember her name. But again, you saw her growth because she started off as timid as anything, under the butt of her boyfriend, in a relationship that she couldn't get out of in her head. But then she slowly gained the confidence to get out of her own relationship, do things on her own, take on risks, because she was like a safe character. She wanted to be safe. Like, by the end of it, she was a right-hand woman for Eileen in that sense. The demons grew to actually revere humans as more than just self-serving meat sacks. There was so much growth in character development here that I think that this should be like put into literature in schools and taught to aspiring writers. That's how high I put the characterization here.
They also nicely use the arcs to develop each person's personality as well, which was really nice because I liked being able to see the gradual changes that each of the characters were going through. Especially Prince Cedric, because he was really such a piece of in the beginning, and he started to realize the issues that he had. Obviously, I think that what really started making him so crazy about Eileen is the fact that his brother wanted her, and he had all these issues with his brother since he was younger. Even though the brother was the one that was thrown away, he was supposed to be the heir. Cedric's only the heir by default. He didn't even earn it on his own right. His brother was always so much better than him, and he could never catch up to him. And now he's picked up something that he threw away, and now he can see, like, no, that was mine. He wasn't looking at Eileen as if she was a person, but he started to deal with that within himself, build his relationship with his brother, and decide for himself that he doesn't want to be led around by somebody else, because that's not going to make someone love you. So his character, I think, had the best growth, and although it was quick because it's only in one anime, it still felt realistic because they had that split between the arcs, which made you feel the time.
Yeah, I definitely agree in the sense that he had growth. I disagree with you though, Ruka, in terms of him having the most growth, but I do understand where you're coming from. I think Lilia had the most growth here. Now, Hear me out. Lilia's the bad guy.
No, I agree with you actually. Yeah, she
Yeah.
did grow as the villain.
Yeah, she sat into that role. Remember, season 1, she was doing
Arc 1.
Yeah, Arc 1, sorry, Arc 1. The whole thing was one season. She was doing dungeon crawls. She was learning how to fight. She was actually doing some actual real fighting. And you saw how evident that was in the last episode, that she could actually wield that sword like a bloody master. She was doing some bits. No offense, but I'm just saying, a little bit of plot armor was used there. Eileen, you should have been bagged to rights, bro. She was schooling you in how to use the holy sword.
Yeah, that's true.
Second of all, every plan that she made. So the first one was just on the facial level, and she realized, oh, I might have an opponent here. The second one was actually more complicated and actually really good plan. But again, she didn't account for Eileen actually coming into the school, infiltrating the school, and doing whatever it takes in order to help her hubby out. And then the last one, I thought it was a brilliant plan. Again, Eileen, plot armor plan, because there's no way you should have won this. There was no way. The moment where Windboy said that the door would lock magically, I was like, yep, game over. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. I was like, we're going to get the ending that I kind of slightly sort of want, where the bad guy wins, but the good guy gives a hell of a fight. No, it's an anime. It wasn't going to happen. But I was like, oh, plot armor had to be used. That's how good she got.
I really tried to give Lilia the benefit of the doubt in episode 1. Obviously, there were flags there that showed that she wasn't the best person, but I still wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. But like you said, she quickly just sat into that villain role. But Lilia does not see herself as a villain, and I can actually understand why she doesn't see herself as a villain, and maybe none of us should see her as a villain. And that's because this is a game. They're from the real world. They were both playing this game. They've both been transmigrated into a game. So what does it matter what she does to any of the characters? Because she doesn't see them as actual people. The only thing that makes Eileen different is that she's looking at them as real people. But that is probably because of Eileen's personal experiences. We know that she was terminally ill and she was in hospital for most of her life. She said that all of her views came from the hospital window. That makes us believe that she's only been in the hospital, and these games were the only outlet she had away from her illness, and then she's passed away and died. This for her is a real life. For Lilia, she's already lived a life, and this is just a game. Like, why should she care?
I agree with you on that sense, because at the end of the day, the two perspectives is what made them such good rivals.
Yeah.
Like, having both of them fighting against each other was a touch of class. Again, we want to talk about characterization. Lilia had a great characterization. How many times was she humbled and she still got back up? Lilia, wow, excellent villain.
Because when Eileen confronted her and was like, actually, I'm the heroine of this whole thing, and Lilia was like, oh, okay then. I didn't know that she would go this far. She didn't do the normal villain thing where it's like, no, she went back and she went harder. She said, okay, if you're calling me the villain, bet. I thought she was a really great character. But to be honest, my favorite thing about this anime is the fact that it managed to have darker themes inside. We had kidnapping, we had suggested essay, intentionally killing innocent people for your own means, and then you had that alongside things like being embarrassed to be kissed on the forehead in public. And it still worked together perfectly. It has those nice tones, the bright colors that would suggest that this anime would be for younger people or a cuter romance anime. But it actually has a lot of really dark themes. You even had Cedric, who was slowly losing his mind. He seemed like he was going through a psychotic break.
Yep.
Not diagnosing anyone here, these are anime characters. He was going through a tough time, and the fact that he managed to stop that suggests that he was probably just going through a bad time in his mental health at the time. They had a lot of themes in this anime.
I mean, they even had the whole
traffic.
I wasn't going to go there. I was going to go like the 12-step program of coming off of addiction and stuff, because Cedric tried to atone for his bad behavior at the end when he hit rock bottom, because he was addicted to Lilia, or addicted to the pursuit of ruining Eileen's life. Pick one. He was addicted to both.
Yeah.
He was just addicted. So there's so much to talk about, and we highly highly think that you should watch it and make your own decisions. And let us know in the comments what you believe. So Ruka, hot or waste of time?
It was a massive hot. It was actually one of my favorite animes that I watched in 2022.
So for me, it's a massive hot. I can't actually explain to you how well this was written, and I was constantly enjoying every episode. And that's hard. It's hard sometimes. Look, not all anime is bingeable. There are some great animes that I can only take one a week of, and there's some great animes that are bingeable, and this could be both. It can be binged, it can be watched once a week, and it's a great way to be intellectually consistent and have your characters sorted and bring about a good universe that makes sense and the emotions are there. Like, you know what? This should be in schools and taught to kids.
If I had to rate it, this would be a 10 out of 10. I've watched it actually twice.
If I had to rate it, it would be a 10 out of 10 as well. I can't even deny it. It's so sick. Go and watch it. Definitely, I'm a villainess, so I'm taming the final boss.
You know it's good if Big Boy Sama gets the title correct.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if you want to DM us or chat to us or see our cosplayers, bomb anime Insta.
And if you made it this far, we appreciate you.
Peace.